Is Yasratcha the best written character in Tower of God? Well, I genuinely think that Yasratcha's name is now in that conversation, and it's a good debate to be had, so let's talk about it. Welcome back, it's Ryzen, and today we're going to be going over Yasratcha's character and debating whether or not he is the best written character in the series, or at least top 5. If you enjoy Tower of God content, consider leaving a like on the video to support the channel, and subscribing as well so you don't miss any Tower of God content. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into the discussion. So for this discussion video, I thought I'd switch it up a bit and read your guys' comments first, and then give my overall take on the subject after reading everything that you guys had to say. So my exact question that I left in the comment section of my last video was, is Yasratcha the best written character in the series? If not, is he top 5? And I got a good amount of replies, which I'm very appreciative of. Thank you to everybody who replied. The first response comes from Flux the Magician, and he says, yes. Why did I even include that in the video? Next up, a response from Pericule. Yasratcha is definitely in my top 5 antagonists in Tower of God. Alright. Now for our first detailed reply, we have a response from Raikumo, and he says, Yasratcha is one of the top 5 best uncles in anime and manga, and Yasratcha's backstory is one of my top 5 favorite backstories because it answers so many questions that we've been wondering about. Even when Yasratcha had the chance to kill them, why did he spare the Baylord brothers 3 times? Why did he discourage Yama to fight against the Jihad and Lopobia armies? What are Yasratcha's motives in encouraging the Baylord brothers? And all of those questions have been given the exact answers in his backstory. In my opinion, it's ranked higher than Bomb's backstory because it didn't give us the exact answers we've been wondering the questions about. Alright, so I'm gonna stop reading the comment for now and address everything that's been said so far. So first off, I really agree with what you said about Yasratcha's character pretty much being built around wanting the audience to ask questions about his motives and intentions. I thought that was really well done, and it really did make Yasratcha very compelling, right? Because when Yasratcha's first introduced, we pretty much hate him, right? Then we go from hating him to kind of wanting to understand why he behaves the way he is, and then questioning whether he's really even worth hatred in the first place, and wanting to know more about his backstory. And then the backstory, as you said, it literally delivers and answers every single question, right? And it's just very satisfying. It's very good because normally SIU leaves a lot of things open, in my opinion. He doesn't really give us exact answers all the time, specifically when you compare it to like other webtoons or manga or whatever. There's always a question that comes with every answer, but here in Yasratcha's backstory, as of last chapter, it's pretty much clear cut. We pretty much get a really solid understanding of almost everything about this character. His full backstory from like pretty much the time he started climbing the tower. We know everything there is to know about Yasratcha, I'm assuming anyways. That's a great thing in my opinion, but it's also a little bit scary because I'm hoping that doesn't, pretty much mean that he's gonna die now that we have nothing more specifically to learn about him. I mean, there could be more, but from what we have now, I'm very satisfied with it, and I think it's very complex, but at the same time it's understandable, and it tells a really compelling story. So I definitely agree with that, but I do disagree with what you said about it being better than Bomb's backstory. I know it's your opinion or whatever, you're valid to feel that way, but I think there's a lot of value in the fact that we don't fully understand Bomb's backstory still, because if we had, I'm not saying Yasratcha is a very open and shut character, but he's much more simple than somebody like Bomb, who pretty much the entire 500 whatever chapters of the webtoon has been spent building upon his motivations, upon his super complex personality, right? And the big thing about Bomb, which is why we care so much about his development and his personality, is that we don't know his backstory, right? We don't know who he truly is. And I think Bomb's backstory was just, it gave us so much, right, to work with. It gave us like infinitely more information than we had initially, but at the same time, it gave us this feeling that we really haven't scratched the surface. And I think there's a lot more value in something like that than there is in, giving us all of the answers that we need. But I think in Yasratcha's specific case, I think it was better to have us get all those answers. So I pretty much agree and disagree with that take, but mostly I agree with what you're saying. Raikumo then goes on to say that there are complaints and comments in his backstory that he read, like, why is the backstory taking so long? I want to see Bomb and his crew, and goofy backstory, why are you showing the side characters' backstory in the middle of a war? My reaction to this was like, bro, it's only 4 chapters and you're already complaining. Would you rather read Pericule's backstory or Rack's backstory? What? I don't really get what you're trying to say. in my opinion, I'm being completely honest, by the way, I'd honestly rather read Paracool's. Not even joking. I think that has a lot of potential to be like, I don't know, dude. I feel like if we just give Paracool the most ridiculous backstory, I feel like it would really feed the community what we really, really need. So personally, I'd go with Paracool's backstory. I don't really know where you're going with that hypothetical question, but I answered it nonetheless. He then goes on to say, I hated how they treated the side characters like that. Yama, Yasratcha, Elaine, Hockney, etc. need more love and attention that they deserve. The only reason why SIU gives us this backstory is so that we can understand and pay attention to these characters, to know who we hate and love. And yeah, I definitely agree with this take, 100%. It's sort of like a really, really weird situation that authors a lot of times go through, right? Because if you don't give these side characters backstories and a lot of development, then people will get mad that the side characters are underdeveloped, right? But then when you do give these side characters a lot of, good treatment, backstory, development, all that good stuff, there's always going to be people who hate, and they're like, oh, bro, why do we care about Yasratcha? Let's just go back to Bomb. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it can be a little bit of a lose-lose situation at times. I can definitely see why. But in my opinion, and I think I'm definitely agreeing with Raikumo, that it's very, very necessary to have a fully fleshed out and developed cast of side characters. And so I think doing things like giving Yasratcha this super extended backstory, and even giving backstories to characters like Elaine, Hockney, Yama, we could even talk about just like, I don't know, any side character in Tower of God that gets backstories. I think it just elevates the story and makes it that much of a better experience. And even with other series, I always love it when side characters, the characters that you think are the most irrelevant, the ones that you think don't even matter, the ones that you don't care about, get like this super in-depth backstory. I think it makes, it says a lot about the author if he's able to captivate you in the story of a character that, maybe 10 chapters ago, you don't even know his name, right? I think there's a lot of value in that. And I really, really appreciate the Yasratcha backstory. I did a whole video on it. You guys know I love it. So, yeah, I think that definitely contributes to Yasratcha being one of the greatest characters ever written into the story. So, thank you, Raikumo, for those points. I agree with most of what you said, and yeah, pretty good. Next up, we have a comment from Griot. Yes, he is definitely top 5. For me, number 1 in Season 3. We can definitely put him among the complex and beautifully written characters like White and Colovan. From being a heartless, selfish cat who killed countless canine people on the wall, to a cat who was obsessed with his only friend. He played the role of a clown for his entire life to get his friend free. Wang Wang told him to kill him and be free from the obsession, but he couldn't because even after Wang Wang's death, he protects his children even though he doesn't care about them. Which means to this date, Yasratcha still is not free from instinct. Tower of God has come to a point where antagonists like Yasratcha and White are more interesting and fun to read than the protagonists like Yama and Bomb. Not saying they're morally right or better than the MCs, but it's still amazing. Dude, honestly, I agree 1000% with this comment. Everything you said, pretty much spot on. I would say I couldn't have said it better myself. I definitely agree with the fact that Yasratcha is very, very complex and beautifully written, and a lot of that stems from like his duality, right? He does care about Yama in some way, right? About Wang Wang and his children. He does. There is some of that, but it's just overwhelmingly like covered and like overshadowed by his selfish nature. And it's really confusing because like, even I don't know, like, does he like, how much does he care about Yama? How much does he care about Wang Wang? In my last video that I made on the backstory, I asserted that he doesn't care about them at all, and he only wants to use Wang Wang for his personal gain. But now seeing him protect Wang Wang's children, and even putting himself at risk of like lying to the family head specifically to protect them, it makes you second guess yourself. And a character that's written in a way that's always making you second guess your own thought process and the way you're interpreting the character is very, very well written. Also, yeah, the antagonists in Tower of God, in my opinion, in general, are better written than the main characters. I think Bomb is the exception there. I really like Bomb's character development. But when we have characters like, you said Yasratcha and White, which I totally agree with. I'd even throw in Colovan and Rachel as well. Yasratcha, White, Colovan, and Rachel are 4 of the best antagonists in terms of writing, pure writing alone, that I've ever read in my life. And I think that, yeah, the antagonists in general are better than like the main squad. I love Kun, Bomb, and Rock, but like they don't really compare to like White, Caliban and Yasratcha. In my opinion, it doesn't really compare. The antagonists are totally top tier. Next up, we have a comment from Remorsefuls. He says, he is most likely in the top 5. Yasratcha is a very interesting character when we meet him. We pretty much hate him, but after getting a taste of his backstory, you see that he isn't that much of a bad guy. After his interactions with Wang Wang, he most definitely thought of him as a true friend, which is why he still keeps his dying promise to protect his children from Trauma Ray, and also killing the people who are manipulated by Trauma Ray to attack and kill his friend as an act of revenge. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. My thumbs hurt. Your thumbs hurt? What the heck, bro? You gotta be on that finger workout regimen, you know what I'm saying? For all the... I agree with this comment. I think it's very interesting to assert that Yasratcha really truly does care about Wang Wang. I don't think it's that black and white. I think there's a lot of debate to be had, and there's definitely a lot of interpretation required to really like determine whether or not he truly does care about Wang Wang. But you know, if that's how you interpret it, obviously I can't really refute that. I mean, there's evidence that goes both ways, which really just, again, I've said this a million times, the fact that it could go either way speaks volumes to how well his character is written. So yeah, that's pretty much all the comments I got. If your comment wasn't in this video, it probably means that you didn't comment at the time when I was recording the audio. So I'm sorry about that. Next time, you know, you got to be quick with it, or else I won't be able to feature you in the video. But yeah, that's about it. I was going to like give my take on the character at the end of the video, like once I finished reading all the comments, but I kind of realized that like throughout like my responses of the comments, I kind of just gave my full take on the character anyways. For me, I think Yasratcha is definitely a top 5 character in terms of character writing. I want to do a video, either a top 10 best written characters in Tower of God video, or a tier list where I just rank them by character writing. Either one. I'm definitely gonna make one of those, but I guess for the sake of this video, I guess I will spoil that a little bit. I think the top 5 are going to consist of Bomb, Rachel, White, Caliban, and Yasratcha. I'm not gonna really spoil that order. I haven't really decided the order, but yeah, I think Yasratcha is definitely top 5. And personally, I don't think he's number one. Number 1 for me would probably be Bomb, just because of how much has gone into Bomb's character writing. I think if we continue to get more greatness from Yasratcha, and there are some people that really like Yasratcha, I think an argument definitely can be made for him being number 1. And yeah, I guess that's it for the video. Thank you so much for making it to the very end. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Help the video get out to more people. It really would mean the world to me. If you want access to early Tower of God chapter reviews, you can become a patron. The link would be in the description. It would really help out a lot. Shout out to Olibinus for being a patron, and a massive shout out to Demon God Kane for being an irregular tier patron, and another massive shout out to my newest patron, Nicholas. I really do appreciate it, man. It really does mean a lot that I have 2 irregular tier patrons. That's crazy, man. When I made that tier, I didn't think anybody would you know, sub to it. I thought it would just be there just in case, but you know, the support really is felt by me, and I really do appreciate it. That's about it for the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.